Hello, this is Decoherent, and welcome back to some more Torment Tides of Numenera. So, we continue on our quest to not let the bloom eat us, even at other people's expense. So last time, we talked to most of the other people down here in Kyrgen Slum. We chatted with some truly lovely doctors over here, Demaray, and the very interestingly appendaged Obervik, who has two sets of arms. Or two, well, of course, everyone has two arms, but he has extra ones attached, because why not? Let's see, we met a guy who was actually doing some work with Allegern, apparently. Although we didn't get a lot of information out of him about that. We chatted with the guy who was in charge of these mercenaries, got him super drunk, got him to feed himself to the maw over here, which then opened. And I said, well, I'm not touching that.
There's adventure everywhere I look. Why aren't we chasing after it?
We're going now, take it easy. And then I bravely decided to run away.
Yes.
And we're going to go poke around the slave quarters first. Because then I have to make some very unpleasant choices. Those choices being, which maw am I going to jump into first? Alright. So this is the one to the slave quarters, right? The old slave block. Ah, the old slave block.
Alright.
I don't even like these doorways. They look like a trachea. Yeah. I don't know. I poked around a few tracheas. Didn't seem like a lot of fun. Alright. This wheeled vehicle looks like it was abandoned here during some kind of military assault.
Yes.
Free stuff just laying around. Ooh, good. Concentrated spray flash. Excellent. Oh, does everyone have one of those on them? I think I forgot to pass them out. Yeah, that was super clever of me. Let's go ahead. Do I need one? Let's see here. Let's give two to our two friendly melees. And one to Rin. Just in case. She's got, like, her awesome heals, but, you know, just in case.
Of course.
It's never good if your healer goes down, you know. Murdens. Murdens, she wrote.
That's something I could do.
So, hey guys. Two hunched avian humanoids stare at you, their bright and hate-filled eyes shining above dirty yellow beaks. You recognize them at once. Murdens. They emit a kind of psychic fuzz, a mental blanket that makes it difficult for you to concentrate. One puffs up its greasy black feathers to make itself look larger, while the other scrapes close to the ground. Their arms wave and gesture, and the intent is clear. Go no further. Hey guys, I mean you no harm. I'm here to retrieve the standard for Artiglio's irregulars. Okay, so I can roll this easy. Let's have Tiber do it. 90% is close enough. One of them points its blade towards the adjoining room. They back slowly and nervously away, keeping their eyes on you the whole time. Well, fair enough. This makeshift bed consists of rags, dirty feathers, and assorted junk. Alright.
Absolutely.
You guys don't mind if I just start digging through your stuff, right? Ooh. Yeah, I just noticed that I'm getting an awful lot of healing items.
Alright.
Oh. Oh, are these all doors? Huh. Crumbling masonry serves as a testament to a past effort to reinforce the walls, but the bloom seems to have other ideas. Oh. Murden Chief, huh? Oh, I totally scrolled right past that doorway. Scour the Faceless. A cleverly made bed lies at the back of the cell, cobbled together from scraps of wood and rope.
Tiber, do you have an ending for that story about the annoying glowing man yet?
Not yet, but I'm optimistic.
Tiber, that's not fun. Skura, I don't think I've heard of him. This creature stirs and mutters at your approach. Although the form is recognizably human, her head is horribly disfigured. Something has wiped her face clean of features, leaving an expanse of mottled and bulbous flesh. save only a horrifically enlarged mouth and 2 small holes where her ears should be. No eyes, huh? She hears you approach and clutches a small jar close to her chest. What would you have with Skura? Although my looks have been stolen, scribbled away by a million thoughtless particles, I can hear you breathing. I can taste what others only smell, your fear, your exertion. She smacks her oversized lips. Tell me, if you had lost your sight, what price would you pay for its return? Let's see here. Sight's important. Wouldn't run to the ends of the earth. My eyes will regrow eventually. Okay, frankly, me, personally, sight is super important to me. We are in agreement then. She nods at the jar in her hands. This contains a piece of the iron wind, the nanostorm that blows across the world and reshapes all in its path. It is my most prized possession, the culmination of my labors, and it was not worth that which was taken in its taking. I would trade it in a moment, if only I could see again. She smacks her horrid mouth at you. I can taste the strangeness of you. You're different from the others here. I beg your aid. The iron wind, we've heard about that. Oh, to step off topic here for about 5 seconds. There are some short stories that were written as part of the backer stuff that has sort of some interesting tales, like kind of tales of the Ninth World. One of them involves the Iron Wind, and I just remembered that they were all pretty good. So if you have a chance to read them, I strongly recommend it. So what happened to you? I was a nano once, a researcher on the cutting edge of the science of nano spirits. Oh, obviously, we just heard of you about 10 minutes ago. Sorry. In particular, I sought to harness the power of the Iron Wind. But the shields, well, my shields, they gave way around me, and the Iron Wind swirled in and found me. She smiles sadly, her immense mouth drooling. She pats the jar. I captured some of the Iron Wind here, but it still remade me. I was cast out, an abomination, and now I skulk and beg for my living. Well, at least the Murdens fear me. So the Iron Wind stole your face? Is it in that jar? If so, can I see? Perhaps I should hold on to that jar, especially if it steals faces. Why do you want a jar that steals faces? Do I want to give Eridus a jar? No! He'll throw it at the next guy he sees. Sorry, Eridus, I think that'd be a bad idea. She nestles the jar close to her, her hands hovering above the controls. A very bad idea. Stay back, you creature of dancing smells. Good smells, I hope. Not like the rest of this place. Or you, my lady. He blushes and quickly tries to cover his mistake. Not that you smell so bad, all things considered. He hesitates. Oh, wait. You don't have a nose. She shakes her face at him, baring her teeth, and he backs away. Oh. She doesn't have a nose. That's interesting. Sets backwards. We taste primarily with our nose. Okay, we'll come back to this in just a second. So what is it that you want me to do for you? Do you not listen? I'm blind and I would see. I don't care how it's done. Restore my sight and I'll give you my jar of wind. Okay, can I look at this jar? Made from an opaque battered metal, it looks like a repurposed cylinder intended to hold some kind of high-energy matter. Control panels emit small readouts into the air above its surface. The jar thrums with energy, almost alive, and Skura's lips slobber into a toothy smile. My pride and punishment, all in one, she says. Then she hides it behind her back. And if you want it, you'll help me regain my sight. If not, you'll never know his wonders. Yeah. Just wondering if I should ask her about Eridus now. I think that'd be a good trade for eyes. So, my companion Eridus has kind of an interesting problem. Wondering if you can help him. Let me find out, she mutters, reaching out her hand. Takes Skura's hand. Eridus does so with great reluctance, turning to you, not noticing that his glow is flaring up her arm in fits and starts. I don't know why you think I have a problem, he says. I'm a hero, after all. I don't have any... He goes rigid, his eyes rolling back in his head. What are you doing to him? Sampling the nanospirits that have possessed your friend, she says calmly, tightening her grip over Eridus's convulsing hand. A single tendril of his golden aura sinks into a hole at the crook of her elbow. How did you sample his aura like that? Sensors and processors in my chest, she says. The iron wind saw fit to merge my flesh with my equipment when it stole my face. She chuckles, and a runnel of drool slips from her too wide mouth. I studied nanospirits, and the iron wind has turned me into a living tool to measure the things. Never let it be said that the wind doesn't have a sense of humor. So, how can I purge them? You can't, she says, shrugging a misshapen shoulder. They've taken root in him, and there they'll stay. Well, until the end, of course. Then she smiles. Now it's my turn. How did you learn of your friend's problem? Well, his wait. This is a very big piece of information. For someone that I've only met for, a minute or two. I prefer to play things a little more close to my chest. But... since we're going to be swapping eyes, I feel like maybe we can talk a little. Well, everyone already knows I'm a cast-off and doing weird stuff, so... Alright, I guess I'll tell her. His original personality is trapped in my mind. I can hear them talking. Huh, perfect, she says, although the information doesn't seem to have surprised her all that much. Well, return to your mind and follow my instructions to the letter.
Updated my journal.
Skura has the faintest golden aura now. Once there, call them by their names. The stronger ones are the paragons. The weaker ones, she pauses, smacking her lips. The glow around her fades. Cathartics. Call them forth and they'll speak to you. Perhaps you'll be able to convince them to leave your friend alone. She abruptly releases Eridus' hand, and he stumbles back, massaging his wrist. Well, I definitely want to get rid of the Cathartics. I wonder, though, if I should leave the Paragons. No, he seemed pretty convinced that he wanted them both gone. I think I slept, Eridus says in tones of soft wonder. I never sleep. His glow returns, inch by inch. Now, Skura says, shifting beneath her rags. What else? Alright. See you soon. Okay, so... confront his audience. That's interesting. That's very interesting. A healer of some kind. Ooh, we know people who can do things like that, especially really unpleasant things like that. Let's play it cool for this particular instant, but we'll go back and we'll talk to our new Kyrgen friends. They'll love it even more if they can, make a huge mess out of the process. So I know that I should go and talk to the chief, but I'm gonna sneak around a little first. There's no point in rushing right on in.
Yes. Now.
Beneath the grate, a vertical shaft descends into darkness. Faint whispers echo from somewhere far below. Okay, well that's not creepy. Manacles hang from the ancient stone plinth, but they're rusted and useless. No one's been chained in here in a long time. Ah. Okay, what's this on the floor? Essence of a single sigh. The malachite-tinted bauble, filled with ashen vapor, pulsates at your touch. When peered at long enough, it invokes an intense feeling of solitude. The examiner never knows whether to embrace it or shun it. Oh, we will be able to dispose of that pretty easily. Well, and by dispose of, I mean give to.
All right.
And by give to, I mean sell to. And by to, I mean probably to some of the people we met down in the Kyrgen Swamp.
Let's go.
This old metal door looks fairly solid. It has a single mechanical lock. You notice that the mechanism appears complicated, suggesting it's more than just a simple lock. Let's look at it a little more closely. Embedded within the locking mechanism is a thin bladder of air, and as you look more carefully, you realize that the bladder is somehow connected to a series of tubes. This is a trap, a cunning, ingenious trap that is beyond the skill of the Merdens. It must be part of the original design of the door. That's interesting. Do we try to pick the lock, disarm the trap? Let's try to disarm it. Because we can do that easily, because we have the Master Thief with us. Moving slowly and methodically, you trace the trigger mechanism to a pinhole nozzle in the front of the door, which leads back to a small reservoir. It contains a dangerous substance that would be sprayed on a hapless victim. After disabling the triggers, you remove the reservoir from the door. You are now the proud owner of a small sack of molecular acid. Awesome. Creates an immediate size slick. I don't know what that means. 13 chemical damage. This small sack of acid was part of a cunning trap that you removed from a door in the old slave block. Its membrane is thin and easily punctured. If you throw it at an enemy, it will splatter them with molecular acid, and probably create a hazardous pool on the ground. Okay. Well, now let's pick the lock. Do I have to do it? No. But I probably should, because I don't use my speed pool for things. You manipulate the lock successfully, and the door unlocks with a satisfying clunk. Oh! Thugs! Hey, thugs! Strips of flesh have been torn from this corpse, and the eye sockets are empty. Judging by the armor, this was one of the Memoriva's thugs. Skinned creatures hang from wooden poles, dripping blood on the ground. This room must serve as the Murden's larder. So that's not going well for you guys.
Remember that.
Two men share this cell. Both of them wear the armor of the Memoriva's soldiers. A third soldier lies on the ground nearby, lifeless. One of the survivors is badly hurt, bleeding and clutching his side. The other, a younger man, appears uninjured. His hands are bound with rusty manacles, and he looks blearily up at you with eyes that suggest he's waiting for the butcher's blade. I've never had my eyes suggest that I'm looking to be butchered. I wonder what that looks like. No, I don't. When he realizes you're not a Murden, his face lights with frantic hope. Oh, thank the gods you've come. If you can free us, you can name your reward with Bruska, or with the Memorvira herself. How did you get here? We've been on this route for a long time. Well, a very long time. We've never had any trouble with the Murdens before. They've always just paid their tribute, so we had no reason to think they'd just try to slaughter us. We fought back, and we survived the fight, but... He gestures to his companion. I don't know how much longer he'll survive. We need your help to escape. So, what are you guys doing in the larder? Oh, they give us some bowls of slop now and then, but I don't dare eat it. If I used it as a chamber pot, you'd never know the difference. Otherwise, they ignore Zebrak and me. I mean, if you don't count the time when they came in here and ate pieces of Pele. They're keeping us fresh is what I think, instead of letting us rot. Our turn will come, I'm sure of it. So the question is, because I'm not real into cannibalism, even non-humanoid on humanoid cannibalism. So I want to let him go. The question is, do I go talk to the chief first, which is probably what I should have done. Because I don't really want to pick a fight. If I leave them here, are they going to be, like, sad? Look, guys, I'll be right back, okay? I'm not leaving you there to die.
Fine.
Even if I end up in a fight, I'll come back and let you out. Don't worry about it. You've established I'm a pretty decent guy. I admit, I almost don't want to cure Eridus. I really enjoy him. He's funny. I mean, I'm not going to leave him trapped and tortured for my own entertainment, but still.
Learning begets doing. Or is it the other way?
Alright. Okay, let's look around quick. Another bed. Another bed. Another bed. Another bed. Is it really necessary to have all these be, like, examinable? Ooh, there's a thing. Not gonna poke at that. Okay, and we've got a bunch of Murdens. A Murden chief and a translator. Okay. Well, we probably can't talk to the chief, but whenever you're speaking with the translator, you always address yourself to the person you're speaking with, not the translator. The larger size of this Murden and the grey down tinges his beak and eyes give him a more stately and menacing look than his compatriots. His clothes are less tattered, and he projects an aura of command. As you approach, he hisses at the other Murdens, and the annoying mental static dies down considerably, leaving only his singular field as a sharper source. The noise whines and scratches in your head, and as the chief speaks, the human woman at his side speaks in a dull monotone. That's interesting. Okay. A squalling blast of static, and then she says, "No. Pretty cloth from Drinking Man's belongs here. Right of theft. If Drinking Man want it, he steal it back." Okay. Okay. Can we talk about something else first? Hi? Okay. Who is this woman that speaks with your words? The woman stands impassively as the Murdens buzz static through several irritating frequencies back and forth. At last, the chief's mental buzz cuts through them all. She recites the word without feeling or awareness. This? This is not woman. Shell is empty. Woman is gone. Why do you speak of it as human? It is machine. When it expires, we'll find new machine. We not speak human language. We buy slave. We fix slave's brain. Slave becomes machine. Machine speak human. She pauses while the chief clacks and hisses. Slave not need whole brain anymore. Excess brain was tasty. Seriously? Guys. Wonder if it'd be worse for her if she'd gotten fed to the maw or what. So, what's the story with your people here? The young woman waits for a moment while the chief and his underlings hiss and click back and forth to each other. What to say? We are Murdens. We hunt. We find. We take. Humans hate us. In the world outside, we flee for them. Here, we rule. Her shoulders roll, an obscene imitation of an avian shrug. Here, humans fear us. So what's that static you guys are doing? Upon hearing your question, all the Murdens in the room begin clacking and shrieking. Ha ha ha, says the translator in a monotonous voice, barely audible over the nose. When the Murdens have settled down, the harsh static of the chief fills your head, and the translator speaks. This is our thoughts. This is how we speak. No need for clumsy words like you, stupid human. Alright. So how about that standard? A squalling blast of static, and then she says, "Nope." Okay. As you're well aware by now, I'm not super fighty. Let's see if I can kind of convince them. If you return it, you'll gain much. Respect, possibly the friendship of Artiglio, more freedom to roam the bloom. That will totally happen, and you're not going to see this as an obvious lie and immediately try to fight me. Okay, Tiber, don't fight me now. Don't fail me now. You don't need that intellect. I hope. You want cloth? Replace it. But not with coin, not with things. Replace it with experience. Keep forgetting to speak in a monotone, sorry. Her monotone breaks slightly here, the emphasis of the Murden's final thought pushing more strongly on here. Flight. I want to hunt in the city. Give me experience of hunting flight and dive on prey. Then I return cloth to Drinking Man. As the other Murdens hiss and clack, he adds, Ha! Chief funny. Impossible. Okay, I know exactly what we're doing here.
Yes.
We're going to go back and talk to the experienced lady. And now that we've got this little thing to trade with her, she'll have a little more interest in chatting with us. Possibly the alchemist? Possibly the one in the back room with the cube bubble machine? We'll find out. Find out very quickly, in fact. Alright. So do we talk to Sheen or just the apothecary? No, we'll talk to Sheen first. The traveler fills my door again. What brings him here this time? Okay. Do you happen to have an essence that would provide someone with the feeling of being an aerial predator? The gaunt skull of her face transforms for a moment, and you can see the beauty shine through his joy. The essence of the Hantry, a fresh creation newly born. A feather and a beak comes to my door, the small machines within still writhing and trying to rebuild. What? She reaches into her cavernous space and pulls out a milky flask, then places it alongside the other essences on her shelf. Look amongst the bottles for your needs. The machines within still writhing and trying to rebuild? Okay. Well, let's see what you have for sale. A flask of milky fluid has a strange sense of buoyancy, and it weighs almost nothing. Sheen distilled this essence from a winged predator called a Hantry. It should satisfy the merchant's chief request for an experience of being an aerial hunter. 1,200? I think not. Thought for sure that she would want to buy that from me. Someone would want this. Well...
Go.
Let's see. Let's talk to our Karajan friends quick. So, I do have the option to sell the experience of what I'm assuming is a title surge to her. And that might actually make her like me enough that she offers me either a discount or something for free. But seriously, I don't know, man. That's pretty personal stuff. Ah, welcome back. Oh, you return. I hope something is wrong with you. Ah, by which I mean that I hope that we get to treat you. By which I mean, of course, that you're fascinating. Just fascinating. So I met a new person. Do you know any way to restore the sight of someone without eyes? Without eyes? Were they destroyed, or is this inherited? Was this a creature that had no visual cortex? He waves his hands. It makes no matter. I can restore sight to any living creature. He leans forward and taps your chest. Any. Obervich is nodding and smiling, and prepares to offer a boast himself. But as he holds up his strange arm, his index finger in the air, he pauses and says quietly, Do you mean restoring sight and retaining independent nervous autonomy? That is, without scooping up portions of their brain? Yes.
Updated my journal.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. He paces a very small circle. I know only one procedure that meets the specific qualification that she retained all her faculties, I'm afraid. It's long work. Long, hard work. Long, hard, expensive work. He glances at Obervich. The half-man returns his partner's quick look. It would require compensation worth more than coin. Perhaps if you found us an interesting test subject for investigation, we could consider a fair trade. When I say perhaps and could, I actually mean that it would suffice. What do you mean as an interesting test subject? Oh, all of our patients are unique in some way. We need someone outside the norm, someone who has some special aspect that no one can offer. Oh, yes, yes. We're always trying to expand our knowledge, advance the field of study to... Well, you get the point. We need someone who can help us develop art and understanding, which is to say, someone new, not someone we've already enhanced. Well, I'm not throwing my friends under the bus. Let's stall for just a moment here. Expensive and time-consuming? What about all the eyes your colleague has on its head? Did he undergo all those surgeries one by one? My friend, these eyes provide a valuable function for me, and they are not simple baubles to be handed out as favors. They are affixed to me and provide certain insights. He bobs his head quickly and nervously, and as if to belie his words, one of them falls from his head. Blast, he says, hastily scooping it up and reattaching it. Very well, very well. You've caught us in a slight embellishment, as one might expect from someone of your mental caliber. He looks to his compatriot. Did I not tell you that our friend's intellect was something to be admired? I did. He bows to you. Well, we don't necessarily need a subject, I suppose. But I did not embroider the entire truth. This is an expensive item. To replace it will cost us 280 shins. Okay. He shakes his hand sadly. Such a possible contribution to knowledge and learning lost. That doesn't stop him from taking your money, of course. I hope my esteemed colleague will cheer himself by thinking of how we can advance our research through the expenditure of these funds. He elbows Overvich. I believe our guest is waiting for something.
I'll remember that.
What? Oh, yes. My apologies. He reaches up to the profusion of eyes on his head and selects one, seemingly at random. With a grimace, he works it free from his head. His scarred flesh flows around and fills the hole where it resided. Well, simply place this on the recipient's face, and it will do the rest of the work. Easy. Alright, thanks for your help. Okay, so now the question is...
If you're sure it's safe.
Do I sell the experience of a tidal surge? So, interestingly, it's not the fact that I'm worried about losing it, it's the fact that I don't want people to think I'm a jerk. But I can't afford to get the experience for the standard without selling her something a lot more valuable than I have. Now mind you, I don't care about the standard. Do I? I don't even care about it. Okay, let's think about that for just a moment. Yeah, I suppose once he got eaten by the maw, that he's not really around to care anymore, is he? I mean, it's not even listed as a quest objective. I'll have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure it was in there. Actually, I'll bet if we glance back at the last episode, we'll be able to see
That
if
story
it...
you were in the middle of. Can you just skip to the end and talk backwards?
It ends with the hero having to choose between patience and silence.
Ugh, rather die.
You may have that opportunity. What was I saying? Oh, right. I'm going to skip back, and I remember a quest objective updating when the maw thing happened, and that was probably what that was. But let's come talk to Skura quick. Good news, I've brought you some eyes. Here are your eyes. Her head tilts at your footfalls, and her lips smack as she scents the air. Why do you return? What have you brought to poor Skura? I have an eye for you. That's something I thought I would never say. Press his eye into his face. Sweet sight returns? I welcome it, friend. Ah! The eye begins to burn into her flesh, extruding small legs that heat and twist as they burrow deeper into the meat and bone of her head. She claps her hands over the eye, instinctively scabbing at the invasive device, and you recognize the titanic act of will that takes for her to let the eye do its work. Her trust in you must be great, or her need for vision desperate. That's what it is. Oh, I forgot to look at the eye! Shoot. After what seems like an eternity of her screams and moans, Skura pulls her hands from her disfigured face. She tilts her head up at you, and her mouth stretches into an involuntary smile of pure joy. You wave your hand in front of her face, and the eye tracks it naturally, cleanly. She throws her arms around you, sobbing with relief and happiness. At last she collects herself, wiping away the stream of tears that poured from the single eye. Oh, it can cry, too! Neat! She looks in amazement at the moisture on her hands and mutters, It's rebuilt the entire structure. Amazing. More investigation required. Then she glances up at you and thrusts the jar into your hands. Here, more trouble than it was worth. She turns away, gasping in delight at the newly revealed sight.
Making a note.
Wow. Hit the wrong button. I meant to actually look at it. Inventory. Flask of... No, that's not it. What am I doing? Are you a quest item? Yes. Made from opaque battered metal, this jar looks like a repurposed cylinder. Oh, we already read about this. Quest item. I don't have a quest for it. That's interesting. Well, this has been a pretty positive ending. So, on that bombshell, I think we're going to have to take a break. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.